Hello everybody, Calamity here, and welcome to Nahida's Envisaged Echo Guide. Just to really quick showcase you how to access the echoes in the first place, you gotta come to the Imaginarium Theater. There's a little quest that introduces you to this whole area, and you have to make sure you actually beat it to get these keys that allow you to access the challenges. Once you've been in the theater mode, come on over to the corner here with this little painting canvas, and there you go, that's how you access the Envisaged Echoes. Alright, so we're going to be doing Nahida's challenge today. Just like Raiden Shoguns, you do have a trial team. You cannot substitute these characters with your own Jincho, Kuki Shinobu, or Toma, unfortunately. I know that really sucks, but your Nahida can be yours, the way you built yours. And mine's built with a free-to-play build, C0, and we're only using a 4-star weapon. So you guys can replicate it if you want, but I don't recommend it. Just use the best weapons you got, the best, if you got the constellations, go for it. But let's go ahead and get started. I'll showcase the build at the end of the video. Alright, so Nahida's Envisaged Echo is split into two parts. The first one has you killing just like a bunch of enemies, and the more you kill, 10, 20, or 30 enemies, you get a damage increase of 50, 200%, or 400% increased damage for the second half. But do not feel bad if you cannot get the 400%. In fact, I'm able to do this with only 200%. And I'm barely able to get 20 enemies killed right at the end. You'll see. And then the second half, we're going to be fighting a boss, the Hydro Topa. It's the big, gigantic water elemental thing. You're just going to make sure you use Nahida's skill as often as possible. Because you can see here, you gain a 50% increase to Burning, Bloom, Hyper Bloom, and Burgeon damage for 10 seconds. And this has a 4-stack cap limit. So you can get another 200% damage increase to your reactions, basically, in the second half. So, that in mind, we're going to go ahead and start. I don't think I need to talk over like how this team works or how these characters work. But I will talk about the rotation. But basically, we're going to start with Nahida's hold skill. Scan all the enemies. Jincho, we're going to swap to him. Use his skill twice. Luckily, they gave him a sacrificial sword. So that should give you enough energy for his burst. And then, normally we would use Toma's Burgeon here because Burgeon's better for groups of enemies. But he doesn't have his burst right off the bat. So it's okay to use Kuki Shinobu's skill and Toma's skill to proc the Denjo cores more often. So that you can get as many kills as possible. Again, if you can only get 20, that's totally fine. You don't have to get the full 30. But let's go ahead and begin. So skill. Jincho's skill. Get his burst. There you go. And Kuki Shinobu. There we go. Scan again. If you do get Nahida's burst, you might as well just pop it, right? So, I'm gonna do just that. Oops. Probably should also use Toma's as well. Remember, sorry if that makes you dizzy, but you gotta just scan really fast with Nahida when you get the opportunity to do so. And pop that burst. There we go again. Again, just 20. Just get the 20. Don't worry about it. See, I only got 20? That's okay. We don't have to do any more. We'll just wait for the second half. So I'm going to pause here just so I can talk to you strategy and rotation again for the upcoming boss fight here. So Jincho does nothing for this boss fight, right? It's a water elemental. It's completely resistant to hydro damage. So you don't even have to switch to him, use him at all anymore. All we're going to be doing is spamming Nahida's hold skill across the battlefield because you want to make sure you get rid of the tiny little versions of the boss because those are buffing the boss to do more damage and take less damage. So you want to get rid of them as soon as they spawn in, and then we're going to be using Kuki Shinobu's skill to both heal us and to apply Hyper Bloom. And then Toma, feel free to use his skill as well just for some extra damage and to give yourself a shield so that you're not getting knocked around all the time. You can also use his burst too and just keep doing a mixture of Burgeon / Hyper Bloom to do damage to the boss. Both is fine. But let's go ahead and begin. So we're not going to be using Jincho anymore. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and pop burst if you have it. And then boss is gonna come on in. See how the little ones spawn? There you go. Scan the whole arena like that. It's always gonna be 3 of them, so kind of keep track of that. As soon as the skill's off cooldown, use it for Nahida. There it is again. There we go. Got it. You might as well use it, right? For Toma. Pop burst. Scan the area again, just in case. I kind of messed up. We need to get rid of the little ones a little bit faster. There you go. Oop. Do it again. There we go. We did it with like 10-ish seconds remaining, right? So that's pretty much it. You just gotta keep doing, you know, just keep spamming that elemental skill as much as you can. Cookie Shinobu, just make sure you have her ring out to apply Electro for the Hyper Bloom, or use Toma. Either or is fine, as long as you're doing damage to the boss. Hyper Bloom is gonna be a little bit better here, just because it auto-targets the boss, and it won't be, even if the boss moves around, whereas Burgeon, you can miss if it, you know, when the boss goes under and digs somewhere else, you can end up missing your version. So you can just stick with Cookie Shinobu, but having the shield is nice, just so you don't have to worry about dodging all of the attacks and such. But let me show you my Nahida's build, and that is pretty much it for this video, and we are going to be out of here. So let's go ahead and show you what she's working with. I do recommend the Sacrificial Fragments, because if you get this weapon to proc, which is an 80% chance on a low cooldown, remember that buff I was talking about in the second half where it's like it stacks? Well, if you use the skill and you get a reset, you get to use the skill again. Instant 100% damage increase for your reactions, which has made the challenge really, really easy. So highly, highly recommend the Sacrificial Fragments. If you can get it to Refinement 5, even better. But if you're in that like Refinement 4, Refinement 3, even Refinement 2, it'll be less consistent, of course, but it'll still be a good option. And of course, the Sacrificial Fragments also gives you Elemental Mastery as a substat, which is good for Nahida. So, good weapon overall, best free-to-play weapon for sure for this challenge. Artifacts, just using just the basic stuff. We're using a Deepwood memory set. Feel free to pause the video, slow it down if you want to look at each individual artifact piece and its subsets. Mine are pretty bad, but just make sure you get as much Elemental Mastery and Energy Recharge as you can. And like I said, free-to-play friendly, C0. And her talents are 7, 9, and 9. You can get these up higher if you want to, but honestly, no need. And yeah, let me show you the character sheet real fast. Oops. Sorry, that was not the character sheet. This is the character sheet. Feel free to, again, to pause, slow down the video if you want to look. My Nahida does not even have a lot of energy recharge. But there you go. So hopefully this was helpful to you. If you have any more questions, if you're struggling on something, feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to help you. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll be making more of these in the future. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. See you all in the next video.